Did you know in 1964, when Daredevil made his first appearance, he wasn't wearing his iconic red suit? He was wearing this one. I was kind of inspired, so I tried to paint it. You want to see how I did? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, Art to the Round. My name is Mello. They say your whole life flashes before your eyes when you die, and it's true, even for a blind man. Today we're going to do something exciting. I am painting the Daredevil in gouache, and I am going to focus on his classic yellow suit. It may not be the one that comes to mind when fans bring up or talk about the character, but it doesn't mean it is less important or that it doesn't have its place in the legacy of this character. And speaking of the legacy of the character, you can tell from the drawing there that I wasn't thinking of Daredevil's 1964 debut with Jack Kirby's amazing art. What I was thinking of, what I was imagining was Frank Miller's, J.R.'s, Klaus Jansson's, David Mazzucchelli's versions of this character. And I wanted to match their intensity. Obviously, I wanted the character to be recognizable. I want you to look at it and say, oh, that's Daredevil. But I also wanted you to get an emotion when you're looking at this thing. I wanted you to think that if this is the hero, I feel bad for the bad guy. And that's where the challenge came in. His original suit was yellow. It was vibrant. The history behind it is really cool, and I won't bore you with it. But I'm just talking about visually. A yellow suit is vibrant, is flamboyant almost. I didn't think that was going to match, which is why I used yellow very sparingly in this drawing. First of all, yellow can be tricky. And I didn't want to overwhelm the visual palette. I didn't necessarily want a vibrant look to the suit. That was never the goal. Just look how earthy and dark the tones are on my palette, those colors. I wanted an emotion. And gouache I'm still not completely comfortable with it. It's still quirky to use. It's fun to use, don't get me wrong, and I enjoy learning it and teaching myself it. But if you know anything about gouache, you know that it dries quick, and its opacities can change depending on how much water, which I didn't want to use too much. So it was difficult to try to find those balances. They were definitely a bit of a puzzle, but nothing in here was so daunting enough that made me want to stop. And I'm not gonna lie, using the limited palette made me feel like a painter, like an artist. I've been reading a lot of Anders Zorn and his palette, his limited palette, and I've been looking at pictures and looking forward to doing a study later on using his limited palette. And yeah, I thought this would have been a really cool way to kind of like get accustomed to working with a very limited palette. And you know, like I said, it makes you feel like a painter, makes you feel like an artiste. It may not be vases or still life, but it puts a smile on my face, man. I mean, it may not be fine art to you, but it's art to me. So I feel around this time, I think I'm about the halfway point of the painting. The base layer of the suit is just about done, using several layers of gouache. Not very thin, mind you, which is probably why the painting came together so quickly. I'm also not trying to blend to smoothness. I'm trying to stay as loose and broad as possible. It's probably unnoticeable on the camera, but I'm actually using small bits of red to sneak into the suit and even into the face. I thought that it would provide visual familiarity. I was trying to avoid pure blacks in this painting, even though I use it sparingly here. So most of the dark is really just really dark ochre. So ochre and a lot of black for the shadows to give the suit, especially where the eyes are, where they're sunken in there, some dimensionality. And this is where gouache really stands out. You can easily layer dark shades over lighter ones to create depth and vice versa. Like you're not beholden to painting from light to dark like you would with watercolors. You can actually experiment more on the fly. which is fun, and I think it keeps the painting engaging. You can keep going back and forth as you go, and you can see from time to time as I work the darker shades and go into the light. I'm not afraid to go back and forth to keep myself in check on what I'm doing there. And what I've been learning recently with these paintings is that it's all about building up those layers, keeping the brush strokes smooth, but fast at the same time, if that makes sense. Like I'm not holding myself down to let me get this thing the perfect way. I'm like, no, man, just go. Because if I do a quick brush stroke and it's not as straight as I want it to be around either the face or the mouth or whatever it is, I could always go back with the previous color and go in there. And that layering and the way the colors blend in together allows for really cool texturing, and just the way the colors blend with each other is really fun. And it has been, this journey, learning this thing has been such a roller coaster. I'm looking forward to what I'll be able to do in the future if I just keep a positive head, keep a positive mentality. You know, I've had some stinkers, man, and I'm gonna show you guys some of the paintings that I've done that just, no thanks. So maybe I'm on that high part of the roller coaster right now, and I'm just gonna ride it until I can. And doing these studies really does help me with the familiarity. Again, you know, I grew up drawing cartoons and comic books, so this part isn't hard. The coming up with a character or something to draw is never difficult for me. What is difficult is, because I lack a lot of the confidence when it comes to painting, is taking that extra step. I was so excited and anxious to start this painting, and I'm actually glad that I did. I think I drew this last week, and I held off because I was editing another video. But the whole time I'm going, I can't wait to do it. I can't wait to do it. As soon as I started, the first thing I said to myself was, "You got this. Don't mess it up." And so that I can keep that little voice quiet, I threw on some headphones. I threw on my favorite Pandora playlist, and the rest is history, as they say. And I hope I can encourage you viewers or people that are watching this. I encourage you to don't let that little voice in your head stop you from doing the stuff that you love or want to learn to do. If it's something that you have a passion about, respect yourself enough to take the time to learn it, respect yourself enough to struggle, and respect yourself enough to pull yourself out of those struggles. Because in the end, it is absolutely worth it. Now we're at the stage of the painting where everything starts to come together, adding those final touches, the highlights, the last bit of tones, the tiny details around the face, the beard, and the 5 o'clock shadow, hints around the horns. You can really begin to feel the Daredevil's raw emotions start pulling you into the painting, which is what the whole goal was. And not just his face, right? The greediness and the texture of the suit adds a lot to the story and to the character. And this has been extremely fun. Painting the original yellow classic suit, not necessarily, I'm putting up my rock and roll fingers, yellow, but keeping in the spirit of the original suit. And I think I pulled it off. Now I want to hear from you guys. What are one of your favorite moments, if you have any? It doesn't even have to be from the books. It could be from the shows or even the 2002 Daredevil movie, where, if you guys were keen enough to recognize, was the quote that I said at the beginning of this video. What would you like to see me paint next? And if you've gotten this far in this video, thank you so much for watching, and it's greatly appreciated. Please leave a like, leave your thoughts in a comment. Don't forget to check out some of my other videos. I have more stuff that's going to be coming down the pipeline. More Marvel stuff, more DC stuff. If you have anything in mind that you want to see me paint, you let me know. hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Again, it's greatly appreciated. And from Mello, draw you later. Bye-bye.